new day. Time to see if TSM can bring us another 2-0 or if Evil Geniuses still has something to say.
That music in the background just made that perfect. I'm just gonna say that. But Evil Geniuses versus TSM, it's map 2, as you said. If you look at the top of your screen or just join us, there's a little white bar next to TSM's name. They picked up the first map. It was Bank Max Overtime, but don't go back and watch it just yet. We still have plenty of Siege action right here for your beautiful faces at home. It's gonna be Consulate, Capital order removed, Jackal going to follow suit, more than likely going to see a Valkyrie ban as well.
Capital still making sense, though. We saw quite a bit of play from that in the last map, and there's quite a bit of room to use it here specifically to open up a lot of execute opportunities that otherwise might not exist. So knocking him out here is going to be pretty essential considering the play coming off the last map. Maestro is going to be the next choice. We've already talked about that. It's basically pick your poison between him and Echo right now in the meta. So he'll be chosen to be removed once again. And then there you go. Stokes the Valkyrie as the final ban, with EG's pick being the last.
She's just too damn strong on this map, man. There's so many places to put Valkyrie cameras throughout Consulate. Trees, palm trees, pots, plants, everything. It's truly incredible how much, presence she can have on Consulate overall. So getting her off of the field is going to make your job a lot easier instead of having Bolo walk around the entire map and look for all of those. But they're not even the ones that removed it. It's going to be Evil Geniuses taking that away, which on the defensive side, yeah, sure, why not? It's going to leave Mira on the board, which is something we don't see too often, but on Consulate, she's not the hardest thing to deal with. Yes, there is a couple of setups where she can be put to a very effective role, but Consulate overall is not one of her best maps.
So we'll see what Mira is going to be able to line up exactly once we get into the round itself. Here is looking like EG is going to start out with a basement hold since they get defensive start. Most useful spots we're going to see her used will be here on the basement and probably the first floor, the lobby site as well. Maybe some usefulness to come in on the second floor as well.
Alright, well, Evil Geniuses, again, going to start off on the defense. I'm very interested to see how they're going to set up this Mira, because downstairs there's really only two ways you do it. Either you put one inside of the security office, as well as one inside of the kitchen, or you put them both inside of the security office. That's really all that we've seen. Seems to be that Young is going to be popping open quite a few hatches with a secondary shotgun. Is everything okay? Just making sure. All right, I think we're all good. All right, it's going to be a mid-hold here, actually, with Young, so they're going to definitely pop that hatch so that they can abandon ship when needed. I'm going to assume he's just checking a couple of settings there.
Yeah, no, we didn't have any chat messages or anything, so.
Yeah, I looked over as well. I had to make sure just to check.
Everything should be A-okay, but like you said, I'm pretty sure he was just checking a notebook or something like that.
Yeah, dig deep there.
Maybe he just ulted.
I was supposed to put it to the pixel to the right or the pixel to the left. I'm not sure of that.
Maybe he just accidentally ulted. Who knows? We've got Merc that's going to be actually very quickly swinging into the inside of admin here, and because the wall was left soft, spamming just to try and clear anyone that might have been waiting in that position.
Well, he is going to have NVK as well as Modiga all the way upstairs, so a little bit of a front shown here by EG that TSM's going to have to deal with. Tim Z's all the way on the western side of things because he is Thermite. He has to get that wall open eventually because they need to try and put a diffuser down, but they want to go for this roam clear first. Bolo has some presence over towards the balcony area of Projector, but hasn't found anything just yet. They actually did a pretty dang good job so far of clearing everything out, getting rid of all of the cameras, and now they have the top floor in under a minute. So now, it's all about trying to hold down the circle desk area as well as piano. If you're able to take that, take control of that, then Achieve can do his due diligence by using that skeleton key to break open the flooring, looking downstairs into garage. Young is waiting to save NVK's life if he does get into some trouble with that secondary shotgun to the hatch.
Besides this, though, EG's done a good job of wasting time here, down to about a minute and a half, and not a massive amount of progress being made here by TSM. Now, that would change if they were able to successfully get piano control right there, but obviously, that's not what you saw. Merc gets pushed back up yellow stairs, loses half of his HP in the process. Doesn't really trade anything out for his troubles. Achieved is now on looking in his own regard here, is trying to shoot out the seesawing yokai drone. It does succeed in getting it, but at what cost? He's now going to take about 50 of his HP. He does trade some of that damage back. It's looking like Modiga, who took the challenge, will end up falling back. NVK, though, still is able to strike against a Merc on top of the hatch, picking up, finally, an opening kill for his team. It's not just that one either. Young is going to follow it up on the Mira with another pickup against Geo.
Well, down to a 3 versus 5. TSM has all the map pressure in the world, but Evil Geniuses done quite a bit of damage to the lineup, but they've taken quite a bit of damage themselves, so this is going to be a round where they need to play things perfectly to get this diffuser down. And she just now working on the upstairs flooring. They do have the air jab set up from Geo, so they know that no one can rotate up bottom spiral safely without getting knocked cleanly off their feet. Diffuser is in the hands of TimZ, so it looks like they're going to try and stop it from upstairs, but it's going to be a very dangerous game. Plenty of nitro cells still on the defense in order to try and thwart him. No smoke, though, to worry about. Do have a mirror window, so they can definitely read out when he goes for this plant. Continues to pre-fire through, but Bolo, on the other end near yellow, will step on a Legion mine. TimZ quickly dispatching the last Yokai drone as Bolo's holding things down. He has to try and stick this, but Necrox melts him. Oh no, it's going to be a rotate towards pipes. It is going to be traded out. Gotcha gets TimZ right as the plant goes off. And that's going to be Evil Geniuses with the very first round.
So Evil Geniuses aren't able to stop the plant from going down, but that doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. No one else goes down. EG overall have a very clean retake here and take control of round number 1. TSM trying their hardest to get control in the early round, but never really being able to find it. Eventually leveraging enough control for the plant, but as we saw, just barely enough for that plant as they lose the round immediately after getting it onto the ground.
By timer, they were ahead in the race, but by man count, they were definitely not. And man count kinda is important. So
pretty important.
Yeah, it's pretty important to have people alive on your team, isn't it? Yeah, that's kind of part of the game. Evil Geniuses, though, claiming the first round off some good utility use, and definitely not off of the back of what TSM was trying to pull off there. It was very, very close. If it would have been a couple of seconds, he might have been able to skate outside and make it right past the reinforcement, but with everybody bearing down on him, I don't think that there's really any way that TimZ makes it out of that situation. It was a very weird instance there as well. Bolo takes that initial gunfight, but he actually got pre-fired by somebody rotating through the pipes area onto yellow stairs, so red Bolo out pretty well, and Evil Genius is going to win a round off of that. Now they're going to be headed to lobby, so I haven't went upstairs yet. This is something we've actually seen happen quite often more recently, that everyone tries to stay away from console and projector.
It's looking like EG are going to follow that path as they stay onto this side of the piano instead in the lobby push. So time to see where this usefulness can come in. We still have the Mira in play for Young as well. There's quite a couple of spots where it could probably be used here, mainly where she's already had them positioned at. Actually, Young's going to put them both inside of the bathroom. So basically, a lot of emphasis on the bathroom for being able to hold on to this, due to the obvious vision that the player who decides to hold it will have for the rest of the round.
Attackers have located a bomb.
All right, well, second round here, and same setup for TSM. More than likely just going to try and keep some more bodies alive. I specifically like what they've been doing with the Nomad so far, trying to lock it down and isolate out these Evil Geniuses players. Last time it almost worked, as nobody could possibly rotate upstairs, but eventually you have to work your way into sight, and when there's 5 people still alive, it's not going to work out in your favor too well. 30 seconds already expended, as it seems to be a west to east clear here, as we've got some upstairs pressure. Merc challenging back and forth on the antechamber window. Got some concussions as well as an impact, and I believe that's going to break the Mira if he hit that correctly, as no ADS could possibly eat it up. Nope, it just impacted the front of it. Oh yeah, it looks like he actually impacted the bottom there. Oh no, it's on a reinforcement. I apologize.
Yep, so not going to be able to be knocked out. They'll keep it alive for now. We'll bring in the Toby eye tracking for now on Merc as well here. In the meantime, though, Bolo is able to pick up a kill against Gotcha from the front door. Merc does find success, though, in eliminating Necrox, so he's going to be able to take him down. Looking for more. All eyes on the aim right now, as he is trying to get focus on that kill. Eventually, though, Geo is going to fall next, as Modiga is able to find the pick on him. First kill for EG in this round, so they are just barely holding on, but it's a start for them to try and force their way back into it.
So never cancel yourself, because sometimes you're wrong. He impacts it, but it doesn't get it. He works his way up towards the mirror that is on a soft wall. Merc doesn't deal too much damage to Young, but TimZ takes down Mo on rotation. All of a sudden, it's up to Young and NVK, and that's a kill you don't see happen too often. Secondary shotgun for Mira, bags himself a Bolo. Merc trying to work things through, but Achieve takes down NVK. It's all left up to Young, who's stuck inside of bathroom. Shifts over to the Vector, pre-firing on through. Can he possibly get him? No, he can't. Merc going to take quite a bit of damage, but TimZ's already successfully put down a plant here. Pre-fires through once again, and eventually gets taken down, but it's going to be a trade on yellow.
So Young finally getting eliminated there towards the end of the round as TSM is able to successfully harass their way into the site, essentially, which is immediate pressure coming out from the windows against the Mira, on top of pressure coming in from the additional side windows onto some of the other players. It seemed to be just a little bit too much for EG to deal with. I think EG was expecting something a bit more complex there that they would have been able to stop with roaming presence. As a result of that, TSM does get away with their push in, primarily just through the front door.
MVK going to be picking up the alibi, and it's going to be, oh wait, cancel that. A little bit ahead of myself there. Now we're into the 6-pick phase. See if he does get himself off of that or if he's going to stick it. It is one of those operators you kind of want to 6-pick into, but you really don't have to. People will still shoot your Prismas. It's not that big of a deal, as MVK will get locked into alibi. So, that being said, going to have to deal with a couple of those Prismas, a couple clones, but nothing that you haven't seen before. Going upstairs now as they immediately abandon lobby. Feel like that was not working out too well for them, and probably a good idea. 2 for 2 on plants is TSM, so the objective control has been working out pretty damn well for them, but still, the rounds are at 1-1.
More a matter of being able to close out right now for TSM. Early round, roam clear, things of that nature haven't seemed to have been issues. But that could still change with only 2 rounds being played out here. EG has yet to been really tested, in my opinion. The setup is going to work its way over here towards Projector, though. Necrox will be set up, as you might expect on the smoke, to be the player holding on the inside here. They still have Young on the Echo as well. So quite a bit of stopping power, at the minimum delay power, being brought in here for EG. This is on top of pretty roam-heavy presence besides that, though.
Well, we're going to have Gotcha all the way downstairs. It's a perfect place for the Pulse. Able to read out every single floor on this entire map except for the roof, Blue. There's a lot of utility use there. You can telegraph everything to your entire team about movements throughout the entire map as long as you are able to maintain safety downstairs. So Drone Game more than likely not going to find him since he is off inside of server, but since they do have the IQ of Bolo, he could eventually set his sights on that cardiac sensor, be able to tell people that, hey, there's a nitro cell that could possibly blow us up from underneath later on. Looks like they are going to be focused on a yellow stairs console take here. Stun's now pouring in to make sure that there's no ADS. No swing just yet as Merc is checking to make sure there's no one in connector, but it finds an NVK staring down the barrel and removes Merc from play.
Chief still holding on to the yellow stairs skylight, waiting to see if anyone from EG might be found out. Just in a bad position down there. Very rarely do we see that actually happen, though, so more than likely just going to continue to hold it until later on here now, where we see him relocate to some window positions.
Well, rest of EG just honestly sitting and waiting. We do obviously still have Gotcha downstairs reading things out. Bolo's taking control of Piano. He's looking to see if he can find any utility through the soft floor, but doesn't find too much. Sees a couple of Prismas and a couple of those ADSs, but he does still have to worry about Gotcha, and he doesn't even know that one just yet. Unless Gotcha has rotated, but as we look through the flooring, I don't see a blue silhouette downstairs, so it does seem like Gotcha has abandoned ship. But as this timer continues to tick down, this is going to get harder and harder for TSM to try and get a diffuser plant. They have shifted their sights over to the eastern side of things. They still have plenty of time as well to try and go for a projector take and plenty of utility to do so as well. The only issue is now, though, they don't have a Habana. Habana is a lot better at trying to get the back wall inside of the long hallway to projector, so they're going to have to try and go face-to-face inside of these gunfights.
Time getting low for TSM. It's been a problem in the past. It has often led to some sloppy plants. Got to be careful to leave themselves enough to execute. A lot of utility being expended now, specifically by TSM. And even see a Yokai drone stunning one of their attempts to push out, I believe, over by Spiral, where Bolo has position on the IQ. He's going to try and retake it. It's Modiga, though, that is able to get the better of Bolo as he counterflanks him from the same position. Geo looking for a way to push up towards yellow, but again, there's just nothing set up to go well at this point for TSM. Everything's going to have to come off of mistakes, and that's the first one. NVK getting knocked out. Timsy finds a second. Gotcha will be there to trade out onto Geo. Now time getting incredibly low. They need to at least start the plan, and there it is. They need to hold it here, though, and make sure they get the confirmation on it. It will not happen. Gotcha and Modiga shut down the last 2 kills, and EG picks up their second.
TSM, once again, very dedicated to trying to get that diffuser down. They get the initial frags, but since they didn't have enough pressure towards Connector, it was almost free real estate for Evil Geniuses to move through, kill Tim on the plant, and just for one more good measure, take out Geo inside of long hallway. So overall, an extremely impressive showing there for them, especially from Geo on that flank up yellow stairs. You didn't think it was going to work out for him at first, especially since there was so much barbed wire there, but it doesn't seem like Evil Geniuses got that sound cue, and he begs quite a few kills for his liking.
Just not enough in order to leverage the win at the end of the day. So EG remain in control on defense. Only by one round, though. We'll see if they're going to be able to try and push this a little bit further and chase the lead a bit more. And they'll go back to one of the sites that they've already been able to close out for themselves in order to do that. That'll be back over here towards the basement where TSM struggled in the last attempt and ultimately did get a plant down, but for only a couple seconds as their last player died, literally less than a second after the plant happened.
This really feels like we're barreling towards a split on this half. TSM, EG, neck and neck, and overall, pretty good clears from TSM. It just seems like when it does come down to the actual execution, they just can't find their footing on a couple of these sites. They're finally able to try and get that done, and I really feel like this will be successful. Again, they've already had 2 plants inside of these last rounds, just one of those plants did not go into their favor as it was a 1v4 for the Thermite. So, jumping into round 4 now, Evil Genius is still bringing Young on the Mira. They actually haven't went around without her just yet, just kind of throwing it up on a reinforcement and see what happens, and it's been successful so far. Seems that TSM is going for more of a traditional take this time, starting east to west inside of the admin office, as everyone at home knows too well about Consulate.
Achieved ripping himself through here on the drone into admin. They do find their target. It'll be sitting a little bit deeper on the inside of this room, further towards Copier. So keep their eyes on that and now look to either eliminate or force that player out of position in order to get the access they need. It's going to be the latter of that, though, as they are allowed in with relatively scot-free. Even better, Bolo finds the pick as he's able to take out NVK. Looks like he was retreating towards yellow right before he got caught there.
Well, the rest of the team focused on the mid floor as TSM's main offensive unit and the likes of Merc and Bolo as well as Achieved is upstairs. So drone games now for the 2 supportive players and the likes of Tim and Geo as they work their way through the mid floor. But Mo's gonna apparently bag 1 drone, as you guys heard Mozzie say his usual lines. Drone comes down yellow as we do have 1 remaining member of EG inside of Piano. I don't know exactly who it is, but it seems like they might have jumped down. No, it's going to be inside of Bathroom, actually. Chief's still upstairs inside of Long. Takes down the camera, begins to rotate. Still plenty of time on the board for TSM in order to get a plant off here. Have the air jab set up already. Again, do still have one to worry about inside of Bathroom. That's more than likely going to be read out just because of the reinforcements on the walls towards the northern side of this. And that mirror. So you're definitely going to know someone is occupying that space.
I've got a pretty good idea that the position is there, and it's going to waste, again, a good probably 20 to 30 seconds of their time trying to deal with that or force the player back. Pretty sure the hatch is open, so that option is there for our defender that wants to eventually move back. And I think that's more than likely what the folks from TSM are going to force here rather than trying to actually go for the frag. Young, however, is able to find a Nitro Cell on point here against Bolo, taking him out of the picture, and most importantly, trading out for the earlier loss of NVK. We're back down to even footing in a 4v4. Achieved, though, coming in, finally catches Gotcha, as he'd been hiding in that bathroom for some time. 45 seconds now, though. This is starting to become an issue for TSM. Again, the timing of it. They're going to try to force the problem in the last few seconds.
Only 35 seconds remain. They need to try and get a diffuser down. They've done such a good job of it so far. This will be 3 rounds on their offensive set that they've got a plant down. And a 50% margin is pretty damn good when it comes to trying to get those diffusers set. Necrox and the rest of the squad sitting inside of the depths of kitchen as well as security. Already dropped off. Timsy pre-firing everything. They do still have Necrox to worry about with Yokai, so it's more than likely going to stop him a couple of times. Pre-fire's coming through, but it is going to be the Mira of Young to lay down next to pipes. They've already got the plant down. Merc and Young going to trade on headshots. It had to be a tap each way, and overall, it's going to be TSM that still has the player lead. They have all the vertical pressure as well as Timsy's abandoned ship all the way out to the truck. Doesn't have to worry about too much here. Just have to try and stave off anyone trying to defuse. A quick shot from Achieve takes down Necrox. It's all left up to Mo as he takes down 1 through the flooring. 1 versus 2, but Geo shuts him down on yellow stairs, and TSM with 3 plants so far.
Most importantly, getting their revenge from the earlier lost round on this site. Much better for TSM as they bring things back under their control and try to put the lead back into their court as well. Now at 2-2, It's going to send the site choice kind of into limbo here when it comes to EG. They've got to make a decision. Do we, try that again? It, wasn't really as close as it was the first time. We did kind of get run over there, or do we, start to rotate to the other sites that have started to unlock? It does look like they eventually decide on going back down to the basement, so they'll make their third attempt at this.
I am still shocked that this number is actually a thing right now. If they don't plant again, they've planted in 50% of the rounds they've played so far on their offensive side. That's crazy. And through the rounds so far, they've planted 75% of the time. That just doesn't happen. We don't see teams do that very often. TSM's making it happen, though. That's map pressure. That's objective priority. That's everything that you want from a Rainbow Six Siege team, and TSM is knocking it out of the park right now. Evil Geniuses, though, in the defensive half, have done a pretty damn good job of retaking once it comes to that. The one round that they do have, though, as obviously it is a split here, 2-2. One of those rounds is when they did stave off a plant, and one of them is when they killed TimZ immediately after he planted. So both of the rounds that TSM have won, they have planted. And it's almost like if you plant the objective, you win, rounds. It's crazy.
He's not necessarily playing too passively here either. It's not a situation where TSM just have too much utility pressure and they're forcing the players out of the site and getting plants that way. It is, still a normal play from EG where TSM has to knock out multiple roamers upstairs before they even come close to the site. So this is EG just unfortunately giving over a bit too much control to TSM on the sites themselves.
It really seems to be very untraditional for this matchup that we have utility burnt in the mid game instead of the late game and that execution time. We haven't seen too much where it's just a utility dump for the execution. It's been a lot of, okay, we're going to stop them here. Okay, we're going to counter that with this. And then once they get to the late game, it's like, okay, we have a couple of bullets and a stun grenade. Let's make this happen, So the only real utility they've had going into the late game has been achieved with that Skeleton Key.
So TSM once again are going to look to try and take the lead for the first time in this map anyway against EG. Steal it away from them and push ahead at what would be a 3-2 half going into the final round of the opening half itself. Gotcha still sits around, will be patiently waiting for the push to work its way in. And in the meantime, Modiga struck first, able to find Merc on a Nitro Cell. So that's the Zofia gone much earlier this time from TSM and the utility that goes along with it.
That's a huge pick as well, Merc. An amazing fragger for TSM. One of the three-headed snake that we know, but Gio can definitely fill those shoes. We've seen him do it a million different ways on a million different teams, and more than likely not going to be any different for TSM. Still plenty of utility to try and handle this side and get a diffuser down, though, but this is going to be Evil Genius's most recent time with an opening kill.
Half the round gone. Still a very quiet affair here across the entire map, with neither team seeming to make significant progress. EG's one and only kill against a Merc, though, still. The torch that they're rallying behind. Not looking to try and necessarily risk too much to find a second kill, but they are maintaining position. They are still holding back TSM quite a bit. TSM is still hoping for that aggression to be thrown out from EG, but as I just mentioned, there's not much of a reason why we would see it from EG except in the case of Gotcha, who's already in an aggressive position. Moves in, but is found out this time by Bolo. And that evens us up.
It's very scary there for just a second. Gotcha got out of dodge inside of bathroom. Wall already open for TimZ now, though. They just need the vertical pressure from the Buck. And as we said, it's been kind of a utility dump throughout for the teams in the mid game. But this time, it seems that everything's been kind of close to the chest. Nectrox still has Toxic Babes. Young still has a Nitro Cell, so they don't have to try and do the dash in order to stop TimZ from getting this diffuser down. Viewjammer eats up one of the drones now as TSM is poised to finally put this diffuser down. He's going to be locked in this animation for 7 seconds, and they have to try and play defense here. He'd abandoned ship the first time. Somebody needs to peek through, and that's what they needed. Necrox dies. That's going to be the Smokey. Downs another. That's Young with the Nitro Cell. It's all left up to Mo and Bolo. Oh my. Once again with a triple to secure it for TSM.
Bolo once more brings TSM out of the fire and into a 1 round. And not only that, but a 1 match here possibly as well, as they now take the lead at 3-2. We're entering the final round of their attacking side, and they've already guaranteed the split at 3-3. If they can push this a little bit further and win this next site, potentially on console, and make it a 4-2, again, that'll be a massive stat advantage going into the second half when they jump on defense for the first time.
You're almost envious of the support unit for TSM, because you really don't have to do that much. You drone, you make a couple calls, you hold an angle for a little while, you open a wall, you get a plant down. That's really it, man. That's really it. Because eventually Bolo's just like, I'm big bad Bolo and I shoot everything. And
the hammer achieved.
Yeah, like And we haven't even seen the Merc train start yet. That's the thing. That's why this team is so very dangerous. And even though Poach isn't playing, a lot of people have them as their front runner.
This is why I was kind of most interested in following TSM after the roster shakeups.
Timsy's at the top of the leaderboard and he has 2 kills. You want to talk about support play? Come on,
Another important part of it too. But yeah, like, you know, when they decided to bring Gio on, Gio was always known as kind of this guy that can do relatively crazy things for EG as well. You know, be the player that pulls off a crazy flank, rotates around, brings something like that to the round, and oftentimes clutches it for his team. You know, you bring that on a TSM who already has quite a bit of that spread amongst their roster, and now it's a very, very dangerous package to deal with. On top of, you know, players that are just good at taking normal gunfights and things of that nature as well. This is like a really powerful team I think we have now for TSM.
Absolutely. Can we see the scoreboard one more time? I'd really appreciate it. In case you guys are wondering how important plants are, I want you to look at Timsy's scoreline. He's got the least kills on his team, tied with Merc, but has the most points. That's how much plants are worth, and that is why you plant the diffuser. It's the most important piece, and that is why the man's got the most points right now. So, there you go. So TSM going into the split at least equal here. They can go for 4-2, which might be the case. Evil Genius is picking up the alibi once again, and they seem to be favoring that on Consulate. It is a map that is pretty pre-fire heavy. There's a lot of regular angles you can put those prismas in, especially playing them towards the windows, which makes things a little bit more difficult for members to try and get aggressive on those. Oh, frag grenade falls right into Necroc's lap. You almost have to feel for him as that frag goes off. Bolo to get traded out, though, by Gotcha's Nitro Cell.
I'm going to be found out real quick here by Mo as he's still holding on the inside of Yellow Stairs. As far as player damage is concerned, we just see those even utility trades come out there. One found on a frag, one found on a Nitro, and besides that, no other damage connecting. Merc pulling a lateral here is going to start rotating over towards a different rappel point. Lee working himself up to the main windows now as the team is moving in to go for a plant. It's the start of it now. Timsy putting it onto the ground. Interrupted this time by a Yokai drone, and most importantly, Motiga able to confirm the kill onto the planter, eliminating Timsy and stopping that plant for the time being. Merc is able to take out Gotcha on a run out, but the problem is Gotcha also just took out Merc himself a few seconds prior. Gio, one of the last two standing, does spam into a Prisma, so he's going to have to hold back for a second. Can recommit in a second, as Achieved is now going to join him on the same rappel.
More than likely do still have Yokai drones up as well, and since Bolo died extremely early on, you have nobody to read into those. You're just going to have to use your eyes and start looking for it like the Predator, because that's exactly what they look like. They shimmer on the outside, and you have to try and find those. Bo still holding down yellows. The rest of Evil Geniuses lies in wait inside of sight. A little bit of bar beating by Achieved as he works his way up, has a skeleton key added, and that's something that this man is so good at with Buck, is knowing when to use which weapon in the proper instances. Working your way up yellow, definitely going to want that skeleton key for those closer ranges. You can get an almost instant kill. Achieved going to find one of those pesky Yokai drones at the top of yellow. I was reading all of that info back to the team, but not any longer. Quick shot, but it's going to be a nice little move by Modig. A fantastic cut for a double kill, and it's going to be Gio, the last remaining member of TSM.
Yeah, for the most part, that has killed the win potential here now for TSM. Gio's going to try this 1v3, but yeah, Mo shuts it down one more time. Modiga with a great hold at Yellow Stairs. Great duel in the that second to last 1v1 that we had for him as well. Really smart moves and outwitting the Buck and making sure he doesn't have a chance to lose that duel. EG come right back into it, and we are at the split at halftime, 3-3.
So with recent history, Consulate has been more of a defensive-sided map. So for TSM, tip of the cap to that, as you're kind of poised to set things up and win this now because of that. We've seen a lot of teams play super aggro on Consulate on their defensive side. Evil Geniuses didn't do that. They didn't fight a lot to the outside of the building, but it's TSM, folks. We kind of know what TSM's about, and they're definitely about taking gunfights, so you're more than likely going to see a lot of aggressive play towards those windows. Merc going to pick the Mira, which everyone would expect, but immediately 6 picks off over to a more important operator.
So going to try and hide that Pulse until later on into the round. You had already mentioned this a couple times, but Pulse is incredibly strong on this map with the capability to see all 3 floors of play if you're scanning from the basement. So quintessential. Bring him in, and if you can hide him, definitely want to do that too. Because that's basically free intel going your way if they don't know that you're being scanned.
All right, well, this will be TSM's first defensive round overall. The split went pretty well. Evil Geniuses obviously going to be on their first offensive set as well. Young going to be picking up Gridlock, which is something we did not see TSM use. They used just Nomad, which we will see Necrox on, but these two in tandem are extremely dangerous. have fun trying to have a roam game, basically. You're going to have to deal with track stingers as well as air jabs. It's a lot of utility you have to use to try and get through this. And the issue is now, though, TSM doesn't have a single roamer that's going to have impact grenades. They have Geo, who's going to have a nitro cell, Merc will have a nitro cell, and then Achieved, who obviously is only going to have barbed wire or a bulletproof camera.
Got our Toby eye tracking up once again.
This thing is so cool, isn't it?
Getting into the mind of these players and trying to see exactly what they're looking at. That's what that blue bubble is moving all over the screen. This is exactly where NVK is looking on his screen right now.
Yeah, don't ask us how they do it. It's just by magic. So MVK working his way through the front door as they're looking to see where they can possibly roam clear at. Plenty of drones cutting through as apparently Achieved is deaf because he didn't hear the drone that is currently turmoiling inside of the barbed wire there. But Mo, as well as the rest of the Evil Geniuses squad, take over admin. Seems to be a regular day in the office for EG. Track Stinger's now going down at the bottom of the staircase as Pulse finally gets found, and that will be Merc, who runs off into the depths of the basement.
Gotcha looking to push himself through with the rest of the team here. Zoo may choose to pop open that sidewall, but in the meantime, NVK is going to strike first here for EG as he catches Geo on a rotate back down by Circle Desk at the front. See NVK actually trying to continue his rampage here a little bit. Moving back upstairs now. Merc also taking a look at quite a bit of the roster, choosing to rotate around right now. Actually, with EG, after that first kill in prime position to start doing some damage here, just need to get a few more players in position themselves, I think, before they're really ready to commit to that. TSM has a heavy emphasis on defending towards yellow right now, but they may want to start pulling that back a little bit, as EG already has the control they need to go for and execute. Whether TSM's actually going to be able to defend it or not is now kind of what's the question.
Oh, this could be super dangerous as NVK doesn't get it. Pours in, but Timsy with a very intelligent move here. Oh, ends up taking him down as well. Shifts his way all the way over to Console and just gives it up. Actually ends up working out in their favor as Merc's on the flank as well. It's going to be full TSM on deck as they have all the pivotal points to be able to shut down this take. NVK's been down as well, so it's an effective 4 versus 3. 40 seconds remain as Merc hops back down Spiral, picks up NVK, who eventually crawled into the hatch. Still waiting on one as Necroc still thinks that he's there. He would be correct. He eventually sees him scurry off back upstairs. But now they have to regain pressure. They have all of this utility dedicated to stopping a roam game, but TSM didn't even attempt for it. Merc sticks around, gets a triple, looking for more as Gotcha's trying to put this diffuser down. Challenges back in, Young pre-fires, can't find one, dances back and forth, and Merc with a quad, excuse me. Gotcha takes down one Timsy, but it's gonna be Merc with the ace as he actually ended up getting that kill onto the Ash that Timsy had downed earlier on.
Crazy round from Merc right there as he does indeed get the ace. The real play is that 3 to 4K that he manages to get from the inside of Spiral, just mind gaming the players from EG and escaping fate more than one time in that round. Beautiful play from Merc. We were just talking a few rounds ago actually about how we hadn't seen a whole lot of flashy play from Merc. Well, there we go, it's back.
He just pulls on a full wrestling move and just jumps off Spirals. Like, all right, well, I'm here. How you guys doing? All right. Begs a free kill off of that, and just overall a very impressive round from him. I think the thing that surprised me the most there is that adjustment from Timsy to come out of Projector worked. I was very surprised by that because MVK was holding his exit, and he just walks through it. It just happened to be timing that NVK was not able to kill him. So overall, a great showing there from TSM on just how malleable they are on defense.
That's great stuff. And that's only the first round too. Things looking great for them on the second floor defense. Now they'll shift it down to the basement, and we'll see if things are going to remain just as strong there. EG, of course, going to have to be a little bit worried now due to the versatility of play we saw from TSM on that last round, but I'm sure they're not shaking too much just yet. Only one round away from tying it back up after all.
Got to get those jaw exercises in, you know? Got to make sure to expand and contrast. Talk correctly. Anyways, jumping into round 8 now. Seems to be that it's going to be all roam game again for TSM, but obviously Evil Geniuses, it's not going to stop the train of utility to try and stop that. Still bringing the gridlock, still bringing the air jabs up the Nomad. Really want to see if NVK can try and have a bigger impact on this round. It seems that he just stopped at the top of Spiral and didn't move anymore. And you really can't fault him, but somebody's going to try and fault him because he's missing 75% of his HP. That's not a very good deal, so somebody definitely got the better end of him. Overall in this round, it's probably going to be very hard for him to have the same showing with that amount of HP. But what I was going to say is he didn't have any support to hold down the long desk, so he couldn't progress any further until somebody finally got inside of vending. Merc and the rest of the squad holding things down. A quick fire towards the front door as Merc dances back and forth in between angles. This is something that a lot of these top-end players are so good at, is having that movement to be able to keep your body safe while taking multiple angles for the same gunfight. As you can see, he's to the left, to the right, and to the top of the exact same desk. So you're able to, try and show that exact same enthusiasm inside of your gunfights. Could probably help you out a little bit.
So we've got Gio doing a little bit of reconstruction work as he holds on the inside of Archives against the basement push. He'll be watching for any type of movements from the Visa side of this building right now. So we have already seen a few players from EG start to move in. Modiga specifically looking for that kill on the other side of the upstairs part of the map. He's also, I believe, got one in Projector right around the corner here. In the meantime, well, we do see Achieved ending up getting the better of Modiga upstairs, but gotcha. Leaps in through the window, finds the trade, and NVK gets one more on Bolo. So that's going to be EG ending up with a man advantage at 4v3.
Still have to worry about quite a few. Going to keep Tim on site all on his lonesome as Gio rotates up Spiral to try and assist Merc. They're able to win it out on frags. They're definitely going to do that. Actually seems that Merc has abandoned ship. Might try and stop the post plant here. Gets rid of one drone, but now the wall is being opened up. So Timsy has to go and try and find safe harbor. That's exactly what he's going to do. Merc takes down NVK. All of a sudden we're into the 3v3. Everyone's outside as well, trying to get this plant down. Merc's still upstairs. Does he still have impacts though? He could save the round, and he does indeed. Timsy works his way up through the kitchen rotate, trying to find the one on the window of a pretty cheeky angle through the white van, but doesn't bag too much damage. Impact now, so they definitely know that he is upstairs. Timsy does still have those yokai drones as well to try and stop them. No IQ, but it's going to be from above from Merc. Young takes down one, but Merc trades it out immediately. Timsy fires towards yellow, identifying one. Merc trying to keep himself alive. Oh no, Necrox, what a shot as he dances in between the pillars. Merc, yet another impact. They have to try and kill him though in order to stop this plant. Diffuser down. Oh, Gotcha's gotten downed as well. It's going to be a shot through. Merc with a triple. Necrox now has to stick this plant. Can he find him? Does he know where he is? He gets air jabbed, and that's going to be just enough time for this to be secured down into the 1 versus 1. Merc, track stingers around his feet. Challenging in, back and forth between Black Car, and it's going to be a quick one, folks. Merc letting him know, let's go. And that's going to be, I believe, a triple for him on the round.
Another clutch coming out from TSM, and Merc also being the one to bring out the big plays from TSM again as well. We saw it just a couple rounds ago, and he's done it for us once again in the 1vx situation to close out on their basement defense. Merc is coming alive, and it seems to have been just when TSM needed it too, as they are rushing ahead now at 3-5, just 2 more rounds away from closing out the series and sending EG home early.
I'm not going to say that I'm right very often, but I'm right about this time. Defensive half of Consulate working out very well for TSM. They play that aggro defense. This is why Consulate has become a fan favorite for LATAM teams. Because if you play to the outside of the building, it's very hard to get inside, and TSM showing you exactly why. Let's get this roam game going. Let's warm things up. Crowd, let's warm things up. What are you guys doing? You're on camera. Clap. Do some stuff. Come on, there we go. I appreciate you. All right, well, let's figure out how Consulate ends, shall we? 38 seconds still left inside of prep, and it's going to be a lobby defense by TSM. Achieve's going to be on pulse. You're more than likely going to see a lot of nitro cells, because if you're playing downstairs and open up the hatches, you can stop the plant. All of a little bit of information game.
So let's see if that's going to happen here now. Let's see if TSM has what they need to hold, get themselves an early map and match point in this series now. This has been a neck-and-neck series. We haven't really had a very one-sided lead. In fact, I think this scoreline exactly is the most dominant lead we had on the previous map. So things have remained pretty much exactly the same, going from Bank to Consulate, and the teams have remained just as close. EG, now need to see them rise to the occasion here, pick up some of the slack and make sure these rounds are clean. Don't get tripped up by that roaming presence from TSM and those light players that rotate in to cause so much issue. It's been stopping EG time after time again on this attacking side, and they need to figure out a way to deal with it, and soon.
Well, still plenty of presence from TSM, but what else would you expect? They're spread thin across the map, but the issue is killing every single one of them is like a raid boss in and of its own. Can definitely cook the entire team if you guys peek wrong. So Evil Geniuses, once again, working their roam game. Gotcha gonna get a drone stolen upstairs. That's gonna go to the likes of Timsy, who can use it back against them. And that's exactly what you're gonna be seeing. He drives that drone away immediately after getting it into his drone army.
NVK able to get some nice early progress here. Now, first hatch will be blown. It was actually just gonna full send and drop down there, but not going to be what we see. Tries to take out one of the stolen drones, nearly shoots one of his own on accident, but does have the trigger discipline so as not to make that mistake. He'll move through here. Actually, looks like he's going to burst himself downstairs too and runs right into Geo. Great find early here from NVK.
Hi, how are you?
That's literally what he does. Just goes in and says hello. Backs out again.
What else do you expect from an Ashe player, man? Extremely fast, extremely flexible. And that's everything that is NVK. We've seen him do it time and time again. Timsy in a gunfight, but immediately jumps downstairs into the lobby area, giving up Projector. Timsy's now been down. Necrox to confirm it, so they do have top control. I'm gonna assume that was him playing the, I believe, antechamber window is upside down on right now, but Evil Geniuses now needs to get a plant down. It's going to be in the hands of Gotcha. They do have all the presence in the world in order to try and make this happen, but they do still have to worry about people like Achieved, who's currently standing at the top of Spiral Stairs. Bolo works his way up yellow as TSM continues to fight for map control. Gotcha pre-firing through into bathroom, but they need to know about this presence. Necrox, plenty of damage dealt to him. I'm going to assume it was in that gunfight on that antechamber window. One falls right into the hands of Achieved as there is no information game. Achieved finds one. Can he get the second? He can't. Young's going to take a little bit of damage from that ump, but nothing that he can't deal with. Bolo rotates himself over to Z, swings through, finds one, flicks back at the perfect time, but it's going to be Merc to fall as well. All of a sudden, it's into Bolo's hands in a 1 versus 3. Plant now going down, and it's going to be Gotcha all the way inside the lobby. He's being hot marked, but he does still have to worry about two people that could possibly be holding the angle. Works his way into antechamber, but he's going to be right on the tail of Gotcha. Only a couple bullets making contact, but it's not going to be enough to be fatal. Swings outside, and this should be pretty easy, and it's Evil Geniuses with round 9.
EG with much more threatening roam presence in the early round this round comparatively to before, where at best they were trading out situations and just outright losing most of the others. Much more threatening. Drone presence also seemed to find them their marks way more often on this round than we had been seeing previously. They get that great intel onto the players upstairs, get the early 5v3 advantage, and from that point forward, it's a relatively straightforward round from EG at the end of the day, especially considering that we were playing into a lobby site.
Well, if you thought they were going to stop taking it, they're definitely not. Nomad Gridlock still working out pretty well for Evil Geniuses as they're trying to bring things back. Bolo's still going to be on the vigil, and it seems to be relatively the same setup as we do head back to lobby. So TSM feeling that, hey, maybe we can try and contest upstairs a little bit more. Maybe they'll have Timsy stick around a little bit longer inside a projector. Who really knows? We'll have to see what's in the cards for them. They're definitely having a discussion about it right now, as you guys can tell. Both sides neck and neck. But hey, what else would you expect from that bank game especially? I mean, Max OT, Consulate could definitely do the same.
Other key piece of this is we were finally able to see EG get some good trades out in that round too. TSM's been getting away with a lot. Players like Bolo, Merc are going on killing sprees here, getting 3-4 kills in a single round, usually without taking much damage in individual 1v1s. That one was much cleaner from EG, and they were trading out like they should have been appropriately. So we're not letting those individual, crazy players on TSM do what they do best.
Oh, wait, that's actually going to be the first plant as well that we've seen from Evil Geniuses, I do believe. So overall, not the best objective priority, but TSM, especially over the previous 2 rounds before last round, were just running amok of things. So can't really stop that when somebody's getting 2 to 3 kills in the matter of 5 seconds. Evil Geniuses back on the offense once again after the prep phase, and it seems that they're going to be starting things off the exact same way. East to west clear down, try and get rid of these roamers, but TSM, once again, doing a pretty dang bang-up job of being able to handle those situations. Last round really was just accustomed to TSM losing out on that roam game. They just lost a lot of their players in that instance. So, CGG with a fact over on the right-hand side of your screen. Achieved and Merc are leading the way for TSM with a combined 51-31 on their scoreline. So that's pretty impressive. Between 1.5 games right now, they have 51 kills amongst the two.
Positive 10 for each of them if we split it right down the middle. So a very dominant scoreline and very dominant individual performances overall here. Now it's just a matter of sealing the deal, getting these last 2 rounds. We can see again, TSM, no strangers to bringing aggression to the table here. You still have those players on the extended roam upstairs and the extended hold, really, as they do need to hold on to control these very pivotal rooms, along with still your standard holds, like players like Geo trying to watch out for yellow pressure.
For TSM, I honestly think this is a great thing how much, confidence that they have inside of each one of their players. I mean, you can see they're each occupying their own space. There isn't someone that's immediately next to them ready for that refrag. They know that all of these guys can win these gunfights, and overall, it's very impressive showing from them on that front. We'll see if they can try and replicate it inside of round 10, because they're definitely going to need to. Looks like they're focused on Projector once again. Breaching charge goes off down the hallway, but not before Merc bags Modiga.
TSM also going to retreat from the upstairs part of the site and the upstairs part of the map, falling back into Piano instead. Maybe a bit early for that, but at the same time, TSM seem to have some type of intel trying to react off of that, as we see Gotcha finally find a trade. He's able to take out Achieve to bring us down into a 4 versus 4. But again, you still have that crew from TSM routing out a potential flank, I believe, through the basement. It hasn't actually caught anyone yet, I don't believe. The yokai that they're currently following shouldn't necessarily be on anyone. Bolo, there we go. That's what they were looking for. He's going to be able to move out and find Young underneath the yokai drone in the hall. NVK, though, striking back, finds Merc trying to move through the front halls over towards lobby.
Down to the 3 versus 3. They only have 1 man on site right now. It's Tim all alone. Geo still on yellow, can rotate back in at any time, and that's exactly what's going to happen. No, actually rotating upstairs. So Plant now going down towards the back door of Spiral, and he's going to get removed. Bolo, smart rotation upstairs, makes it a double kill. MVK takes down Geo, gets marked out. Does he know he's there? He does, but he eventually gets chewed up and spat out. Necrox now has a diffuser, but very low HP. Necrox confirms 2 seconds remain, but they need to try and find where this plant's going down. Bolo rotates completely off, decides to go for the retake instead, as he believes he can try and beat it out. Here's the barbed wire. Oh no! It's gonna be Evil Geniuses in round 10.
The unscope at the last second seems to have thrown him off, gives NVK what he needs to close it down. EG, same as our first map, they are not done just yet. Despite going down 3-5, they fight it back, and you can see it in the back there. They've tied it up again for a second time now at 5-5. So get ready to head up to the second floor for TSM's next defense. Basement, apparently, actually.
Yeah, basement. We're not heading upstairs. We're going downstairs.
They changed it on me.
And they flipped the script.
It's not fair.
They flipped the coin. They flipped the thing.
You're not allowed to do that.
Flip the switch.
You only get 1 vote for your site.
Flip the. I don't know any more sayings for flipped. Do you know any?
Turn the crank.
Don't turn the crank.
So
Don't do that.
we do have a TSM timeout, and this is probably as opportune of a moment they're going to have for it here. Definitely wanted to keep the momentum rolling the last 2 rounds, given the fact that they have been on a bit of a winning streak here and could have easily run it up to 7 if they wanted to. But now that EG has found their footing and seems to be consistent with it, it's time to come up with a new plan.
TSM turns the crank and Tim Z decides to win his ones. I think that they win that round. So, again, like, this is that hard love, guys. When you have a friend that plays for a team and you have to talk over the game, this is when you got to go, hey, just stop sucking, please. So, win your ones. We all know you can do it. Just do it. Win the video game, you know? So overall, Evil Geniuses has been having a fantastic showing on their offense. It started off pretty lackluster, but as it's, gotten older and older, it seems to be that they are finally able to put these rounds together. And they're getting more plants down. That's something that we didn't see very early on inside of their offensive rounds. They just could not secure any of these plants. They got 1 inside of 3 rounds, where inside of 4 rounds, TSM already had 3, So now that it's gotten back to trying to get that objective down, it seems that EG, it's working out in their favor.
And so with EG back into the game, they as well sit those same 2 rounds away from winning out the map. For their sake, though, it only triggers a 3rd map right now. This is map number 2 of the series, with TSM currently having the lead. The unpause has come in, and that means that we are going back into the game in just a couple of seconds here. It will be a basement defense, still having TSM on defense itself. They now need to win the next 2 rounds consecutively. The same for EG if they'd like a win and to avoid overtime.
All right, I'm just going to say this to bring back the pain just a little bit. I was in those exact same shoes last year at this exact same event. So I kind of know how TSM feels in this instance. You kind of want to swallow your tongue. You really don't know what to do. Everything that you thought that you knew about what you're doing kind of flies out the window. You know what I mean? So you kind of got to give them the benefit of the doubt in that. But hey, when it comes down to, hey, if I kill this guy, that wins us the round, you kind of got to light him on fire for just a second, you know what I mean? So TSM still going to be matched up here, shifting Achieved over to the Mozzie instead. Tim going to be back on the Echo, and they will be bringing the Mira. We haven't seen Mira brought by TSM just yet, so we'll have to see what they're going to dedicate those Black Mirrors to.
We'll take a look at that once the setup is complete in a second here. It is on the basement site, so we've already seen one of them going to get deployed, where normally you actually have a rotate hole, so
I think you can still make the rotate there. If I remember correctly, and you know, everything, that's a 2-panel, so you should be able to put it on the right-hand side and then also make your rotate there. So Geo also going to do some reconstructive surgery, and I was like, cool. So yeah, a little bit of reconstructive surgery on the security office as well, just to make a rotate. Geo also going to open up the top there so that people can dump nitro cells over towards White Van. That's what that Mira setup's going to be used for. But the wall's already being blown open, but TSM expected that. They did not bring a single person to try and deny this.
This means that EG is going to come in quick. They are going to go for the plant right now. We'll bring the eye tracker in for this one to see what Gotcha pays attention to as he tries to go for the plant. Both the track stingers, in fact, possibly all three of the track stingers getting thrown out here too. They're going to go for raw chaos. Actually goes beyond it a little bit. Starts to put the plant onto the ground. And at the moment, TSM, where are you? No one's here to stop this. Oh, Bolo, though, at the last second, stops the plant. And VK, though, is there to trade it. He's been the king of trades and keeping his team even here. But here's the problem. Merc as well, if he goes just a couple steps forward, might have been able to catch another player from EG on the ground, but they missed it. So Gotcha will more than likely find a revive over these next few seconds.
The real question is, where are the Yokai drones at? Merc gets chewed up eventually by MVK, who rotates up yellow. Now they have the vertical pressure, but the diffuser's down in no man's land. If anybody crosses in there, it's going to be very treacherous territory. Geo now knows that somebody has that vertical pressure from Evil Geniuses, so he's going to have to respect that. He doesn't want to die just yet. We need to see this utility from Tim rotated up. I don't exactly know where these Yokai drones are located. Geo trying to get rid of a camera here, eventually gets rid of that drone, so just another bit of detriment towards the Evil Geniuses drone economy. Achieved has worked his way up towards yellow, playing very aggro. Does still have the nitro cell as well, as everyone seems to be rotating upstairs.
The drone, however, did still make it pretty deep into the site, so it's got a pretty good idea about what exactly EG are going to have to accomplish upon execute here and where the TSM setup is located. That doesn't mean, though, that they have guaranteed wins. Achieved with a first pickup. TimZ makes an initial mistake shooting the Mira window, but quickly peeks out to find his kill. Young will find a response onto Geo, so we're only even into a 2v2, but 52 seconds left. Oh no! Achieved is going to be found out moving off the white pipes. Now it's TimZ alone in a 1v2 situation. Looking to try and stop the plant first, but unfortunately that's not going to be possible. Goes onto the ground. TimZ still waiting for the yellow stairs peak to happen. He did spot the planter, so knows where that's going on at right now. The real question, however, is did the shot give him away? Fired out one shot. He's also missed this player on yellow stairs. That player's already gone outside and is going to be up in a second. A good find onto the foot, but it doesn't kill him just yet. Only knocks out about half the HP. TimZ still hunting for this planter, and he's given his second opponent all the time in the world to reposition outside. This is just really not winnable anymore here for TimZ, but he's still trying his best. Ultimately, though, he'll be shut out by EG, and they take the lead at 6-5.
So TSM dedicating the Yokai drones to other areas of the map because of that extended hold is actually going to bite them. So they actually had the Yokai drones dedicated one top floor and one in the mid floor behind the circle desk. There was one that was sitting on the actual door frame there. So we were trying to use that for that roam game. But since they completely ignored that, he couldn't get any of the Yokai drones back to site because he had to fight everybody. So again, TSM just losing a couple of key people early on, and now Evil Geniuses finally takes the lead.
Evil Geniuses with a chance to end it right here, right now, too. Only just now have taken the lead, but they've got to win it on this round. Otherwise, OT is going to be triggered yet again. The same fate that befell them on the map number 1. TSM still will have a chance to win this, but it's not necessarily close anymore. They've got to bring it together here. Gotcha knows how important this round is as well. He's emphasizing that to his teammates as they get ready to hop into it for the last time in regulation. Round number 12 of map number 2. Here we go, folks. TSM currently with the lead at 1-0.
All right, well, TSM has to match this firepower that they're bringing in. A quick change up in the lineup, actually. We're not bringing the Nomad anymore, Blue. We're bringing the Dokkaebi. So that's definitely going to be a little bit of a change up towards the defense. They haven't seen that one just yet. Merc actually going to be a direct counter as well as Bolo to that. Bolo doesn't get phone calls because he's yokai for some odd reason. Apparently, Echo has Dokkaebi's number blocked. Probably a bad dating experience or something. But those are for jokes for other days. Mute Jammer will also make it to where your phone doesn't receive any phone calls. So if you play close enough to it, you don't have to worry about that.
A bit of a fat coming in. TSM and EG have combined for 14 plants throughout 26 rounds played, being successful more than 50% of the time. Now, if you don't regularly watch Siege, that may not sound that impressive.
That does not happen.
But that does not happen. You're lucky to get 2 plants in a game, let alone the number we've had here.
Yeah, it's honestly, if I had to come up with an average just off the top of my head, I'd say it's probably 10% of the rounds that you play, you get a plant down in. It's not something that happens too often. More often than not, people just die, and you're like, hey, we won the round, we killed everyone. Yes, it's kind of, it's deathmatch with an objective that you can kind of use if you need it.
So we've got EG at some of the windows already starting to skirmish here. I believe that'll be their admin push to start as they're just droning out areas like Copy Room now. It already looks like if there was TSM roaming presence here, it's been forced back as they had a break room set up for a hold, but no one in it right now. Curious to see if TSM's going to attempt to redouble that or if they've already given up. NVK also will get free visa control downstairs, leaping in through the window. Has those trap stingers coming in from Young in order to enable this push.
Well, IQ scanner reading out literally everything, and I mean everything. There is so much electronic utility on the defense right now, and there's another piece of electronic utility, but instead of getting rid of it, it explodes, and it's going to kill Modega on Zofia. That's a very, very big pick. Merc is on the SMG-11 train with Timsy. He's going to be playing the Mute. TSM so far looking pretty damn good throughout the round, especially with that pick onto Mo. A little bit of damage on the Necrox as well. It seems that Evil Geniuses wants to make an adjustment here and try and go for a separate take. They do have some drones downstairs, so they can possibly use the drone up yellow to try and show some presence.
Necrox, first phone call, actually second phone call, excuse me. Working its way in here now for EG. Works out well. NVK finds the trade to even them back out again and gets great control of lobby. Might have been even 1 or 2 more kills he could have leveraged from this position if he chose to stick around, but it's going to be quite dangerous if he chooses to do that. TSM still with strongholds on the actual site itself, though, and they're going to continue to maintain that as Bolo strikes yet again, bringing EG down to just 3 players left standing. Young looking for the trade, not going to find it so easily now. TSM growing a lot more passive as this round inches closer and closer to the end. That does mean, though, that they have very minimal presence in Projector here. Coming down to the last 20 seconds, there could still be a plan opportunity for EG.
Bolo don't know exactly if he still has more yokai drones. This is more than likely going to be back on the back of Bolo and Timsy to try and shut down this door from the admin side. Quite a bit of damage done to NVK on main. Young goes down. That's going to be Achieve to secure that. They know that Necrox is there as well. Achieve with a double. Can he close it down? No, Timsy gets marked by the EBR, but Achieved with a triple kill, and TSM pushing it to overtime once again.
Same as map number 1. We're going to go the full distance on this one, and it may very well decide the match. TSM not able to close out on the standard 7 for the second time in a row. Must do it in OT for a second time. Already successful in bringing out the win on Bank. Let's see them do it one more time on Consulate for the 2-0 win. If not, if this is EG's game, a third map on Coastline will decide the matchup. TSM's going to start us off upstairs as they get the first defensive round.
This story already feels so long, and we've only been through 2 maps, Blue. So with that being said, our second overtime of this series is up to bat. Geo shifting away from the Mozzie over to the Mira. A little bit better site utility. Obviously, you can't deny as many drones, but Mira, a fantastic operator in her own right. They're actually going to be going upstairs. This is some place that we haven't seen her used too often. The most known time that Mira has been used on this site is this very weird bathroom setup that G2 used to have, where they would set up bathroom, open up the yellow wall, and then play it off with that, as well as castling the door that we currently see. Let's see if anybody's near it. Timsy's going to run through at the bottom of your screen. That door to the right, they'd castle that off and play Mira on the wall there and challenge the bathroom window as well as the top of yellow. It's a very creative setup. It kind of worked. Positives and its negatives.
Here we go, folks. Both teams let out onto the board. Our first round of overtime is getting started. Time to see if TSM has what it takes to close out for a second time now. Or is this one going to be EG's day? Let's see. EG, of course, moving quickly over towards admin. 2 players, possibly 3, going to go on repel up there relatively quickly to start moving in for control. And there's not much defense here from TSM. Bolo is going to relocate one of his yokai drones into position in order to stop any pushes in from Copy. But the first point of contact, if it is going to be a committed admin push, more than likely will end up being achieved.
A really big fucking hole coming back.
All right, well, as Habana cusses, we'll move on through this. Gotcha, gonna get a black mirror taken care of. That's gonna be the one inside the bathroom that Geo set up. This is something that we've seen quite often with mirror setups on this map. Try and hold down a little kitchenette area right off of Copy, but they're not gonna hold it down too long. It's kind of just a faulty area, just to make you think that someone's there, and they're obviously not. So they do have complete presence on the eastern side of the map now, as the rest of TSM has weaned off, went back to site.
2 minutes left, plenty of time for EG still. Small amount of progress has been made, but obviously still a lot more work to be done for these guys. EG, in the meantime, we're going to see NVK down into the bottom of Visa here and work himself outside. So a few players looking like they're going to reposition, more than likely trying to put a little bit more presence up here on balcony and onto the CEO windows themselves. A bit over there towards where Necrox is. You can see him already getting in position to harass that. And in a second, NVK is going to be doing the same thing with these balcony windows.
All set up now, still plenty of utility inside of the smoke, but Merc rips NVK off the window, gets traded out immediately by Gotcha on balcony. But a quick challenge from the connector window as well, as Timsy's inside of there, and you can definitely get that angle out towards the balcony to try and solve that problem, but that's definitely not going to happen. Young repels into Copy, and it still seems to be an east to west take, as everyone and their sister on Evil Geniuses has been set up inside of Short as well as Copy. Mo now challenging towards the actual projector area as he moves his way in. He needs somebody to stop him now, but they have yokai drones set up, so Bolo's just waiting. Since they've killed MBK, they don't have to worry about it too much. Nitro Cell goes off, reads it out as default, and that's going to be diffuser down. So some incredible showing of skill here from TSM, especially in the utility game. Oh, shots through TSM. No, Timsy can't make it, a little bit too high over the head. Bolo trades it out though onto Mo, but it's gonna be Necrox still alive. Bolo trapped inside a bathroom, dancing in between multiple angles. Bags 2, that's gonna be Young. It's all left up to Necrox inside of the office, and TSM take round 13.
Great opening hold here from TSM. They are going to be able to find that first round. Now comes the question, though. Is there going to be consistency in this? A clean 2-0 run? If not, it's not a big deal if they lose this attacking round. But, of course, that does put us into another 7-7. Then they would have to be perfect on their second site choice. They can't run that second floor defense again on their second attempt coming up after this round.
All right, well, last time out for Evil Geniuses on this map. You only get 1 per map. This isn't any other league or traditional sport that you've ever seen. So you don't get multiple per map, you only get 1. And this is probably the perfect time to use it because you're staring down the barrel of a loaded gun. If you lose this round, you're going home in a 2-0 fashion, and I don't think that EG could attest to that at all. It's not something that this org is very used to, losing inside of quarters. Well, up until recently, where Raleigh and a couple other things happened, and we thought that they were coming back, but then they didn't come back. It's kind of been a rough road for them as of late, but for NA, one of their favorite teams, I'd honestly have to say the 2 that get the most traction has to be Evil Geniuses and TSM at this point.
To agree with you on that one. So we've got EG's last pause running out of time here relatively quickly. We're going to be moving into it in just a second. EG will be choosing that same upstairs site, it seems, unless they change that choice the last 3 seconds they have, but we just unpaused and it wasn't changed, so it's looking like we're going to remain the same as they'll play into the same site that we just saw TSM win on. So they're looking for the same thing, a quick exchange to put us at 7-7 and then send us into the final round of the map. And for EG's sake, hopefully send them to a third and final map where they can still win this series.
pretty equal frags across both teams here, honestly. So great showing by Merc, Bolo, and Achieved, and exactly kind of what we told you. They're all going to have a ton of frags, and that's the fragging power of TSM. Other two really just kind of have to drone, get information, make calls, and try and get a diffuser down. That's really all that's what's in the cards for TSM with their current setup. So Evil Geniuses choose to go upstairs after their timeout, and this site hasn't been too successful for them. They have won a couple of rounds here, but they're dedicating themselves to quite a few nitro cells, particularly two. We're going to have Gotcha on the Pulse as well as MVK on the Mozzie. So with two of those, you're more than likely going to have a mid-hold here by them, because those nitro cells can stop plants if TSM tries to get too aggressive on a horizontal take.
Still MVK roaming around a little bit here, trying to throw out some of those pests and hopefully get him a couple drones for his drone army in the early round here. Keeping them in position in the late round. Besides that, TSM, though, still focusing heavily on the drone game, as we have been seeing them do throughout the majority of the series so far. Bolo, though, is going to have pretty easy access to the inside of admin. No one from EG actively trying to contest onto that, even as you go over towards printers and the break room. It's going to be pretty much the same thing. It's going to be able to move in relatively scot-free. EG focuses their defense much more on the yellow stairs side and the sites themselves.
Slow going so far for TSM, and should help out Evil Geniuses just a little bit. No focus on the mid-floor either, and that could come back to bite them, as we just talked about those nitro cells. So TSM seems like they want to go for a projector take. That's what they're setting up for. Achieve rotating himself over towards balcony, going to work those windows as Timzy opens up the long angle from admin to watch the projector door. Merc, as well as the rest of the team, are taking over short desk as well as copy to focus their sights on to long, and they need to try and get an initial pick here in order to solve the problem. How many people are on this top floor? MVK taking quite a bit of damage. I don't exactly know from where, but I'm sure he'll be told soon. MVK is actually downstairs inside of circles, so he might have ran out and tried to get in a gunfight with Achieved or what have you, but definitely did not work out into his favor. Bolo, the rest of the squad still working on that long desk. Drones now pouring in. Out that the echo of Young is on bathroom. Merc now rotating himself over towards Spiral. So they have all the pressure that they need to try and get this diffuser down. They just have to hold the cross for a connector as well as get the man out of projector.
And there's going to be that lack of downstairs presence, which is going to be an issue here as well. The defenders still had Gotcha, who had rotated back up now. And it's Pulse, he's going to be in position to play into this. NVK, in the meantime, is able to catch Geo. Bolo was looking for a trade at long desk. If he held the angle, might have had it, but was a bit timid about it. Backed up at the last second here. Now recommits, and yeah, there's a lot of info being given to TSM right now just based off these sporadic movements. And they're trying to react to it, but some of that information seems conflicted. Pulse going to get caught scanning. Merc didn't even realize there was a second player here, but that doesn't matter. Achieved. Still was able to get a second kill elsewhere on the map. NVK, though, does end up getting the better of Merc at the end of it. Puts us into an even 3v3. 30 seconds left for TSM to push.
Oh no. Playing these angles very passively might get them in some trouble. Eventually, the man's last nitro cell for Evil Geniuses will go down. Achieved holds through connector, takes down one on long desk, is Bolo. It's down to just Young. Does he have enough Yokai drones to try and stop it? This is for all the marbles, folks. Young's got a challenge in through. Can he beat out one? He does. Challenges back through. Oh no, it's gonna be on a split. 2 seconds. Achieve's gotta find him. Can he get it? He does! Achieve with the skeleton key, and TSM wins it out.
TSM this entire series have been getting away by just a hair on so many rounds, and they do it one final time at the end of map number 2. They are the winners of this semifinal, and they will move forward into the conference final tomorrow. TSM get the best out of EG and knock them out of the tournament.
What an impressive showing by both of these teams, and fantastic showing by TSM overall. I mean, these top 3 players just nuking everyone on both maps. We had that 3-headed snake that showed up and was able to show exactly why TSM has some of the best fragging power inside of North America.
Achieved, Merc, Bolo, doesn't matter which one it was, but every single round we saw won by TSM, one of them goes lights out and absolutely destroys EG with a multi-frag. So you gotta give props to those guys. If it wasn't for their big plays, the scoreline would have been much, much more into the favor of EG, and we'd probably be looking at a third map right now.
All smiles from both sides, as it was a good showing overall by everyone. And honestly, the supportive duo from TSM worked out pretty well as well. I mean, we saw quite a few frags from Geo, a lot of plants by TimZ, but honestly, hopefully after that first game, he can get things recentered and try and pick up a couple more of those frags and those 1v1s he's been able to find.
Still definitely some things they'll have to talk about in that regard, though, is that will become an issue later on in the tournament if they end up potentially going up against, say, SSG or something like that.
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity especially. It's going to be abused a lot more in those matchups and could be their downfall if they don't fix it by that time.
Well, Evil Genius is sporting the new jerseys, and speaking of new things, you guys have heard our old voices for a while, so let's throw it on over to, I believe, Jackie. I can't remember. Okay, there we go. It's going to Jackie.
Oh my. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I was just chatting with him about how amazing that last play was. I mean, nail biter through and through. You're sweating a little bit. What's going through your head?
I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, we had a 3v1 there. The call was to, you know, shoot the yokais, and then Young made a play down long, kill Bolo, and then ended up killing him. But, I mean, honestly, I didn't think I was going to kill him, but we did, and we won. So, I mean, yeah.
So incredibly close. What do you think gave your team the edge?
I mean, for the most part, everyone on the team is a shooter. Even though we have a sub in TimZ right now, we just stuck to what we always do, take our gunfights, play confident, and play to win.
Talk to me a little bit about TimZ. Interesting choice. He hasn't competed in Challenger League. Can you talk about why you guys decided to bring him on and how you effectively incorporated him on the team?
So to pick someone up, it was really hard because there's not too many options because a lot of people are trying to qualify for their teams or they're on pro league teams and stuff like that. But Merc is actually friends with TimZ, and they had a little bit of history, and Merc recommended him. We played the first qualifier with him, or the second qualifier with him, and it went pretty well. And yeah, we've just been grinding with him. We scrimmed with him for like a week or two, and then for the most part, yeah, we've just been incorporating him for the last 2 weeks into our team.
Okay, so you guys got Geo from EG. I would assume you got some intel that was a part of the strategy. Can you tell us how that worked out?
Yeah, so Geo just left their team like a month ago. But Gotcha was also on our team, and he ended up going to their team. So I think it was kind of like fair. Like they kind of knew what we did, and we kind of knew what they did for the most part. And then, I mean, yeah, obviously Geo told us a few things. I'm sure like Gotcha told them a few things for the most part, but.
It was a thrill. Fantastic playing. Thank you so much, and good luck. All right, I'm gonna send it back to you guys.
Thanks so much for that one, Jackie.